Students, we were at the topic of the different types of agricultural practices that is prevalent in India. We had so far discussed about the primitive subsistence farming. We had discussed about the shifting agriculture or slash and burn. We have also discussed about the intensive subsistence farming. And finally, we were discussing about the plantation agriculture, and I left this topic here only. So I am continuing it from the same topic. Plantation agriculture, initially introduced by the Britishers in India, because the Indians were engaged in different types of different practices of agriculture, but actually plantation agriculture they didn't knew. In your class 9th syllabus, you must have read about the clearance of forest when Britishers came to India, and a new type of agriculture, that was plantation agriculture, was introduced to us. At that time, plantation owners were Britishers, but when India became independent, the plantation owners were Indians. Single crop is grown throughout a big tract, and actually plantation agriculture have some requirements. Without these requirements, plantation agriculture cannot be done. Correct? And I also told you that it is an interface of commercial farming. And remember it that plantation agriculture can be done only by rich farmers. A big estate, big pieces of lands. Within the land, there are processing units. Because, let me give you some examples, first of all, that will give you an idea about the requirements. Tea, coffee. So these types of crops, tea and coffee particularly, they have fragrance. Their fragrance is to be retained, and if there is no good transportation and communication system, the crops will perish. They will be out of use. So mostly in the plantation areas, inside the plantation area, there are processing farms. When tea is harvested, the tea leaves are plucked. Inside the farm only, there are processing farms, and it is immediately packed so as to retain its fragrance. So plantation agriculture needs, first of all, a very good, well-knitted transportation and communication. It needs skilled labor, and sometimes, students, it also needs migrant labor. In your NCERT, page number 37 and 39, just go through the map. It will give you an idea about the plantation areas in Assam, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, particularly major areas. And remember, in this chapter, we are doing major areas of the crop. Whatever crops we are studying, we will study about the major areas. Assam, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Well-knitted transportation and communication is well associated with the skilled labor and unskilled labor, sometimes migrant labor, and capital. Because I told you it's a costly crop, so capital. And it also needs very good credit facilities. Banks, cooperatives, they should be nearby. Good marketing outlet nearby. If there is a good marketing outlet, it will encourage the plantations. It will encourage the labor. It will encourage the owners. So all these requirements together, if they are available over there, then only plantation agriculture can be done. So these are the requirements of the plantation agriculture. Understand? So we need all these things. It can be asked in 5 marks in your board examination, or it can also be asked in 3 marks, to reduce the points according to your own. Is it clear? We quickly switch over to next topic today, that is cropping seasons in India. You know that the plurality of culture and the plurality of physical diversities. Physical diversities you very well know. Somewhere there are plains in India, somewhere there are plateau regions, somewhere there are rocks, somewhere there are hills. Different relief features. This is called physical diversities. And plurality of cultures. Different culture. Yesterday we were discussing about the communities. We were discussing that there are certain communities which go for shifting agriculture, slash and burn. Certain communities, they go for primitive subsistence farming. So there is plurality of cultures. Different communities, they grow different types of crops. Hilly areas, climate is different, they grow different types of crops. Plains, different climate, different seasons are there in the country, people grow different types of crops. So it is a very complex and a very vast topic. For our convenience and for the convenience of geography, studying geography, the geographers have divided it into 3 categories: Rabi, Kharif and Zayad. Correct? And this division is based upon the growing season, harvesting months and so on. So we will go through with example. First of all, Rabi. Rabi crop. The Rabi crop in India is grown rightly in the months between October and December. Correct? Must be going on in your mind. Wheat. The largest crop of this category is wheat, is grown during October to December. And I know that you are getting my point. It is harvested in April to June. Vaisakhi, April. So don't cram it. Just go through it and try to understand it. Don't cram all these things. Just because near Diwali it is sown, Rabi crop. And in April to June, when there is onset of summer, it is harvested. Correct? Now the second one is Kharif. Going on, the season is going on right now. The Kharif crop is grown, is sown between the months July to August. Rightly, it is going on now in India. Onset of monsoon, you can write down. With the onset of monsoon, with the coming of monsoon, because lots of water is needed for these crops. Again, yes, you are right, rice or paddy, it is the largest crop in this category. And then the crop is rightly harvested between the month September to October. And immediately after it is harvested, Rabi season, Rabi crop starts. So very well knitted again together and very well managed, as if the nature has given us all these things to grow different types of crops in different seasons, given by nature, gift of God. And then students, there is a short crop season, not so short, but a bit shorter, between March to April, May, June. It is a Zayad crop or Zayad season. It is a short crop season, students, between the Rabi and Kharif crops. And in Zayad season, particularly the fodder for the animals, for the cattle, and crops like cucumbers. Very good example, you must have eaten for the last few months watermelons, melons, cucumbers are coming in the market, very fresh cucumbers are coming, fodder for the animals, all this grown in the season of Zayad, in the cropping season of Zayad. Because cattle rearing is a very important occupation in India, so we need fodder for the animals. You must have seen today in the fields, maize is growing, maize have been growing, and maize, it is such a plant, the whole plant is used. The fruit part is for human beings and leafy part and the other stems, etc. That is a very good fodder for the animals. Again, don't cram it, just try to understand it, and it is a short crop season. It will be over by, with the onset of monsoon, it will be over, but the fodder and all that will be continued because maize takes about 6 to 8 months to mature. Correct? So these are the cropping seasons of India, and as the cultural plurality is there in the country, similarly you can see the diversities in cropping is also shown very well. Correct? I hope you are going to understand all these points, and you will understand it through map. I have given you the page number 37, 39. You can see the map of India, and rightly in the map of India, it is very well categorized. The plantation areas, the plains, the plateau regions. After the Aravalli ranges, it is a plateau region where only in these coastal regions, that is the western coast and eastern coast. Eastern coast is very well known for the growth of paddy because lots of water is available over here. Even the staple food of the people is also rice. Then in the western area, in the western Ghats, that is the western coastal region, there are hills, these are full of minerals which are needed for our industries, as well as certain forest areas and cropping areas are there. Correct? And then well knitted over here, the northern plains is totally green area, cropping area, plain. Lots of food requirements of the people is fulfilled here. And then in the northeastern part, I have just now given you Assam, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. These are our rightly called the plantation areas, and the whole country is well knitted together with different agricultural crops. So this is the diversity that have been shown, and I have told you that it is because of the different types of soils are available in India and different types of seasons are also there. So India is a very important, a very famous and prosperous country as far as the agriculture is concerned. Understand it? So this was our long answer, a 5 marks topic. What are the different cropping seasons in India? Correct? Next topic that I am taking for you is what are the different food crops grown in India. The different types of food crops. We will study about the food crops. We will study about the grains, that is rice and wheat and millets, etc. Then we will study the food crops other than grains, means the crop is concerned with the food, but that is other than grains. That includes our different mediums of cooking food like oil, etc. Then we will study about the beverage crops, tea and coffee. We will also study about the different cash crops, about those crops which are non-food crops. Non-food crops include cotton, jute, mesta, etc. These are our non-food crops. So these different types of crops are grown in India. And first of all, we are taking the grains. And among the grains, we are taking rice. And as just now I told you, in your NCERT, the term for rice is given as paddy. Don't get confused, it is rice only. So it is the largest crop of the Kharif season. It is a staple food of the people of the coastal areas. Like yesterday I told you, in Odisha they grow 3 varieties of rice in a year, and even then it is a subsistence crop for them. Subsistence crop means it is not commercialized. Correct, students? So tomorrow we will continue the topic with the different grains, the food crops, that is the grains are growing in India, and what requirements are there, and what are the different regions or areas or states where different grains are grown in our country. Go through the chapter and go through all these topics which I have given you today and prepare your notes. Thank you, students.